The sharp clatter of metal on tile tore through the silence of the late-night store. Ethan Ward, the billionaire founder of a global tech company, turned from the aisle he was walking down. He had come out alone that night, dressed simply, hoping to escape the noise of his empire and the emptiness of his mansion. But the sound that reached him pulled him toward something deeper than loneliness. He moved closer, his polished shoes echoing softly until he saw two small shapes crouched by the shelves. Two girls, thin, trembling, their clothes too big and soaked from the rain outside. One tried to gather the cans that had fallen. The other stood frozen, fear written in her eyes. They could not have been more than 8 or 9. Ethan stopped a few feet away, his heart tightening. For a moment they looked at him as if he were a monster. He knelt slowly, raising his hands to show he meant no harm. "It's okay," he said quietly. "Are you hungry?" The smaller one clutched a loaf of bread as if it were gold. The older girl stepped in front of her, shoulders shaking. "We didn't mean to steal," she whispered. "We just needed to eat." The honesty in her voice broke something inside him. He saw not thieves but hunger, not guilt but survival. That moment would become the beginning of a story that neither of them could ever forget. Ethan stood frozen for a heartbeat, torn between reason and instinct. His mind whispered that he should call security, but his heart told him something else. He looked at the girls again, really looked this time. Their faces were streaked with dirt, their hands trembling not from fear but from cold. The older one, with eyes too wise for her age, tried to hide a torn photograph inside her pocket. He caught a glimpse of it, a picture of a woman holding 2 babies near a lake. "Where are your parents?" he asked softly. The younger one hesitated, then whispered, "Mama is gone." Those words hit him harder than any storm. Ethan exhaled, reached into his wallet, and placed a bill on the counter. "Let me pay for it," he said. The cashier gave him a questioning look, but he ignored it. The girls followed him outside, unsure whether to run or trust him. The rain had softened to a drizzle, the streetlights glowing like halos in the mist. He opened the door of his black sedan. "You don't have to sleep out there tonight," he said. "Just come for one meal, and then you can decide." The older one studied him carefully before nodding. As they sat in silence, Ethan caught their reflection in the rearview mirror. 2 fragile souls staring out the window, searching for warmth in a world that had forgotten them. He did not know it yet, but helping them would uncover a truth buried deep within his own past. The ride to Ethan's home was quiet, but the silence was heavy with questions neither side dared to ask. The city lights flickered across their faces like pieces of a broken dream. When the car stopped before the tall iron gates of his mansion, the girl's eyes widened. The younger one whispered, "Do you live here?" Ethan nodded, though even he felt like a stranger inside those walls. The house was filled with everything money could buy, but nothing that made it feel alive. As they stepped inside, the warmth of the fireplace brushed against their cold skin. His housekeeper, Mrs. Wells, appeared from the hallway, startled. "Sir, who are these children?" Ethan replied gently. "Guests for tonight." The girls stayed close to each other, still unsure if kindness could be trusted. Mrs. Wells brought them food, and the moment the smell of soup reached them, they forgot their fear. They ate fast, as if time itself might take the plates away. Ethan watched quietly, something deep within him stirring. The older girl, Ava, looked up after a while, her eyes meeting his. "Why are you helping us?" she asked. Her tone carried both gratitude and suspicion. Ethan smiled faintly. "Because someone once helped me when I needed it." She frowned, as though she wanted to believe but could not. Later, when they fell asleep on the couch, Ethan noticed the photograph again lying beside the smaller girl. The woman in it looked oddly familiar. He picked it up and froze. Ethan stared at the photograph under the soft glow of the lamp, his pulse quickening. The woman in the picture had a smile that pulled at the edges of his memory. He turned it over, finding faded handwriting on the back. 3 words. "Keep them safe." His breath caught. Something about the handwriting felt familiar, too familiar. He looked toward the couch, where the girls slept close together, the smaller one clutching that same torn corner of the photo. His thoughts spun. Could it be possible that the woman was connected to him? He poured a glass of water, his hands trembling slightly. Upstairs, a floorboard creaked. The older girl, Ava, was awake, standing by the hallway. "That picture," she whispered. "It's all we have left of her." Ethan's heart tightened. "Who was she?" he asked softly. Ava hesitated, her lips quivering before she spoke. "Our mom said the man who took this picture could help us find her." Ethan froze. "Do you know his name?" Ava shook her head. "Just that he had kind eyes." The words hit him like a wave. He did not remember taking that photo, yet deep down something told him he had been there. The edges of a forgotten truth began to take shape, one that might connect their lives in ways none of them could imagine. The morning light filtered through the tall windows, painting soft gold across the marble floor. Ethan barely slept. The photograph haunted every corner of his mind. He watched as the girls ate breakfast quietly at the long table, their manners careful, as if afraid they would be told to leave any second. He wanted to ask more about their mother, but feared breaking what little trust he had earned. When Ava reached for her bag, something slipped out. A small heart-shaped locket, its chain broken. It landed near Ethan's hand. He picked it up gently, opening it with care. Inside was a faded picture of a woman and a baby boy, him. The air left his lungs in one sharp breath. His chest tightened as memories flashed in fragments. Laughter, a lake, a woman humming a lullaby he thought he had forgotten. He turned to Ava, his voice barely steady. "Where did you get this?" She looked up, startled. "It was our mom's," she said. "She told us to never lose it." Ethan felt the ground shift beneath him. The woman, her eyes, her smile, it was his past resurfacing in the most impossible way. Before he could speak, the front door opened, and his assistant rushed in with urgent news about a foundation project downtown. But Ethan could not move. He just stared at the locket, realizing the truth might already be sitting across the table, eating toast in silence. Ethan's world tilted as he stood frozen, the locket trembling in his palm. Every instinct screamed to demand answers, yet something inside him whispered patience. He looked at Ava and Lily, their faces soft and innocent, unaware of the storm unraveling behind his calm expression. Later that day, unable to shake the truth forming in his heart, he drove to his mother's old estate across the bay. Eleanor Ward was waiting by the garden, her silver hair glowing in the afternoon sun. When he showed her the locket and the photograph, her expression changed from warmth to dread. She took a step back, eyes glistening. "Where did you find this?" she asked, her voice barely audible. "From 2 little girls," Ethan said quietly. "They said their mother told them to find me." Tears welled in Eleanor's eyes as she sank into a chair. "Ethan," she whispered. Years ago, before your father died, he made choices that broke more lives than ours. That woman, she loved him once. The words cut through the air like glass. Ethan's throat tightened. Are you saying? Eleanor nodded. Those girls are your father's blood. Your sister's. Silence fell heavy. Ethan turned toward the horizon, his heart torn between disbelief and awe. Fate had brought them together not by chance, but by unfinished love and buried truth. That night, as the girls slept safely under his roof, Ethan knew his life's purpose had changed forever. To protect them, to honor their mother, and to finally heal the story that began long before he understood what family truly meant.